Welcome back to another review, this time for Shibou Yuugi, which had 11 episodes and was airing in winter of 2026. Synopsis on any list. At just 17, Yuuki is a professional desk game player. She has survived enough rounds to know that survival is calculation, not luck, and that failure is final. For most players, the games are a nightmare with no escape. For Yuuki, they are simple business. Yet in a world where rooms turn into grays and every choice could be her last, even experience offers no protection. Oh boy, this one has me quite conflicted. Now, the art style, I really like the art style. I really like the direction. I have some examples. So we see this pretty early on. A little scene where we don't have any facial details, but you see this. It reminds me a little bit of like watercolor and stuff. It's looking really nice. This is our main character, by the way, Yuuki. Art style I really like. To see different characters. As example, we have these whenever we don't have anything in focus. We have this more or less detailed, but still detailed enough shots, which I really like. And we also play around with the composition a little bit, like this one where we only use the top half or the top third, which is very nice. It gives it a little bit more flair. Additionally, whenever we get a really nice close-up, like in this shot, it's really beautiful. It's very vibrant. It is, art style-wise, it is very good, in my opinion. Animation is pretty good most of the time. Sometimes they try a little bit too hard and it feels a little bit clunky. But it feels more like the direction is a little bit clunky, not the animation itself. That one is fine. And if that was all, it would be a really, decent show. The problem is story. Now, this is, as is stated, we follow Yuuki, and she is a professional desk game player. Now, she and other characters, like the one depicted in the picture, are going to join in this little game. It's essentially a little escape room type of game. However, it can turn deadly. Now, normally you need to work together, you need to solve some problem or whatever to then, and at the end, win. And then you get some money. Typical desk game idea to put the subtitle is playing desk games to put food on the table. So far fine. The problem I have is I am missing motivation. We see a lot of people in this season that take part in this game or in these type of games, and we know they win some money. Okay. But apart from that, what is the motivation? We see people that go into these games 10 times, 30 times. It's like, okay, at what point do you have enough? These games are dangerous. They are just dangerous. Even though one of the main points is that the survival rate is 70% plus, which I have to disagree with. The show is not necessarily showing us those, but I am missing more motivation. Every now and then there's a character which gives me some motivation. There is I'm bad with name. There's a blonde character, specifically, pretty vital character, where I can see motivation coming, okay. We also have a green-haired character that has some motivation where I'm like, okay, now we are getting somewhere. our main character, Yuki, she does not really have that big motivation, which is, it's missing a little bit. Additionally, throughout the show, we see these games taking place. And because of all the characters that take part in the game, my assumption was, hey, maybe the world is bad. Maybe the world you can't really make money. Maybe you can't really live your life. You know, something is wrong with the world, essentially. That was my assumption. We never really got any information about the world, so I'm still more or less assuming something bad is going on. Because otherwise, why would you take part in these games? Even if it has a 70% win chance or survival rate. Even if you get, let's say, $1 million for a win, I would still be hesitant once. Multiple times, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's far too dangerous. And this is one of the big problems I have with the show. Again, art style, awesome. I like the animation. I like how it is directed. Even if some of the fighting shots feel a little bit clunky, but they're still totally fine. I don't know if the motivation is... I don't see the motivation, and that is where most of the story is, because we are going from one game to another. We have a little bit of other stuff going on, but nothing really paid off. Nothing paid off at all. And I'm just waiting for a little bit more of an, hey, this is why we have so many people taking part in these games. Again, there could be multiple reasons. The world got destroyed. The unemployment rate is high. I don't know. A million reasons you could showcase. But so far, it seems like these people take place in these games because they want to make easy money at the cost of their life, potential cost of their life, which is a little bit, feels a little bit hard to swallow. That is my main criticism. The main character, Yuki, also does not feel... It's the first half of the show, it is very hard for me personally to root for the main hero, for the main character, because Yuki had made some decisions which made me not want to support her as much. She was still the main character, but it felt a little bit weird to be like, yay, you go, kind of thing. Let's go to ratings, then I'm going to go into some other stuff. Now, AniList has it at 74%. My anime list at 748. Here's where I was really conflicted. For me, it is between a 7 and an 8. If there was a little bit more story, easy 8. If there was even more story and more justification why this happens, how this happens, maybe a little bit behind the scenes, I could even see that as a 9. At this point, I would give it a high 7 out of 10. So something like 7.5, 7.7 if I had points, whatever. Because I am missing... I'm missing more of the story. I'm missing a little bit more where I'm like, okay, I see why we take part in these games. I see why so many people are here. I see what is going on. I am lost why people take place or take part in these kind of games. Now, this is going to be a little bit spoilery. I'm going to refrain from big spoilers. Just a couple of things that you know, happens, not happens, but in the show. One of them, 70% survival rate. We got told that very early on. It is not what we see. Our survival rate is probably like, even if we discount some other stuff, maybe 30-40% at best, which if you look at it that way, even less of a chance to take part in these, which is that is just a big problem. Additionally, our main character Yuki, we don't really know too much about her. I guess we know as much as we need to. But other characters get a little bit of a backstory. We get a little bit of a flashback, where they're coming from, what is happening to them. However, the show cycles through characters really frequently. If you get attached to a character, tough luck. If it's not Yuki, she's gone. One way or another. Maybe she dies, maybe she survives and is gone from the show. And it's like, why? If you have built these characters up with a backstory, with a reason, where it's like, okay, I understand why you are taking part, why would you remove them? It's very strange. Oh, there's so much other stuff. Now this is going to be spoiler. I'm going to be all over the place. So this is going to be spoiler. One of the reasons I can't really support Yuki is just because she is not necessarily good. She's not necessarily bad, but she's very pragmatic, I would say, which is not good if it comes down to like survival and other people surviving. And especially very early on, there are some scenes where I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can support this character. And then slowly but surely, she's winning me back. And then she's doing another thing where I'm like, I don't know if I can support you again. It's very conflicting. There's a problem. I don't even know what else, because I don't want to go too far into any specifics. Oh yeah. Now, to generalize, this show is mostly about girls dying and killing each other. That is the show. I don't know why they decided to not have any males featured. There are no guys. There's not one of the death games with guys. I'm assuming in this world there are death games which only have guys in it. Okay. But we don't see it. We only see girls. Which, I mean, I'm not opposed to that. But it's still questioning why only girls and no guys. And again, it would be easier if it was explained. Maybe girls can't work. Maybe they have less rights. I don't know. Some kind of reason where I'm like, okay, understandable. I'm rambling as always. I feel like this had potential to be really good if we got a little bit more of an explanation why these people are taking part in it, because altogether we have like 250 plus participants in the season alone, which is just very staggering if you think about that. These are potentially death games. You could just die. You could wake up and be dead. And it's like, we also have some story bits that we started but never paid off. And it's like, okay, the whole reason why Yuki takes place or part in these games is very flimsy in my opinion. But fair enough, I guess. Because it's not me that is taking part, it's her. And if that is reason enough for her, I guess it's fine. Still, Awesome art style, really good looking. The games itself, I don't really like. I feel like they are too evil. I would have liked some more games that show a little bit, hey, everyone can survive. You can solve the puzzle without anyone dying because you're smart enough. I believe it was Yuki herself who said at the beginning that some puzzles have alternative solutions that are better but are harder to get to, and less people are going to be injured if you use those. Never saw those. It was mostly people dying, and it's not that fun for me, quite honestly, at some point. Again, if there was some good reason, I can go with it. I can be behind that. I can support and be like, yo, Yuki wins this because you want to, I don't know, take over the world, as example. But I feel like the story is lacking too much.